I've just finished reading this book and I thought I would talk to you about it. If you saw some of my Christmas haul videos, this is a book I got for Christmas from Anna. It's a few years old, it's about 4 years old, 2016 it was first published. So it's a few years old. It's called A Year in the Life of a Yorkshire Shepherdess. It's by Amanda Owen. She's written a few books. She has a TV series in the UK following their life on the farm. She's also been on one of Ben Fogle's programmes. So she's sort of quite well known in the sort of UK. It's not a book I would normally read necessarily. Obviously it's about sheep farming, but it's quite a nice read. It's nice to read about the English countryside, sort of things that go on, and the landscape, living within the landscape. They live in a very remote farm in Yorkshire, so it's quite interesting hearing about the sort of snow and their way of life in that area. Took me probably a couple of weeks to read this book. Sometimes I read books in a couple of days if they're really sort of gripping, but sometimes it takes a bit longer. I normally read a paperback sort of in the evenings downstairs when we're sort of chilling on the sofas, and I tend to read another book at the same time on my Kindle when we're in bed, or if we're out camping or anything like that. So I tend to read a few at a time. It's about the fourth book I've read this year so far. Yeah, so I enjoyed this book. It's quite a nice read, quite easy to read. It's sort of a month by month guide. It goes for each month, talking about different things that go on the farm, different things they're doing with the sheep at that time of the year, and just general sort of shows and things around their area. There's quite a few pictures in the middle, pictures of the house in the snow, which is quite nice. Quite nice to read about the sort of challenges they have of a lot more snow than we get down in our area, and obviously sort of the tales of what happens to their sheep, other animals they've got. I've got a few other animals. They've got 8 children. Well, at the time this book was written, they had 8 children. It's quite interesting to read how they grow up on the farm. Quite a good read, quite an easy read. It's quite nice. I'll probably find out some of her other books and read those as well. It's quite a sort of chilled book to read. I tend to read. I always read non-fiction. Tends to be things like some autobiographies, but mainly sort of travel or hiking stuff, any of that sort of adventure type of books. So yeah, it's sort of quite a nice book. I would recommend it if you're into sort of country living, that kind of stuff. I'll read you the sort of synopsis on the back of what they say it's about. So it says, every day at Ravenseat, a remote Yorkshire hill farm, brings new adventures for shepherdess Amanda Owen, her husband Clive and their children. In her latest book, Amanda describes how they live in tune with the age-old cycles of a farming year as they tend their sheep on some of the country's highest, bleakest mountains. So that's sort of the top bit. It sort of goes on a little bit more. Yeah, so book worth looking for if you like sort of countryside kind of reading. It's quite an easy read, and I'll have a look out for some of her other stuff.